And there's sort of two ways of understanding this. You can almost say the scientific and the mystical. The scientific would go something like, whatever there is out here, whatever it is, it's coming in through our senses. And our senses are taking all this basically information in, interpreting it through our brain, and then creating in our minds what we see. So, one of the assumptions we have, well, not, once you're more educated, but even when you're educated, we can still kind of carry an unconscious assumption, almost like our, the eyes, as they say, are windows to the world, just like you're peering through a plane of glass into the world, and you're just seeing it as it objectively is. But there's no such thing as that. We're not peering through our eyes. Our eyes are not like, window planes onto the world that we're perceiving through them and seeing this objectively existing world. That's not the way it works in any way whatsoever. We're taking in information through our senses. That information is being translated in our minds, like instantaneously. And our mind is taking that information, translating it, and creating an image. The image is what you see every time you open your eyes. That's the image of the world your mind is creating for you. You're not just looking out into a world as it is, without any observer. You're looking at the world as it's created in your mind, as it's interpreted through this incredibly complex brain structure, central nervous system, all the rest. That's a scientific explanation, you might say. So in that sense, if we want to know the nature of our mind, how we look today, just open your eyes. There it is. Kind of weird to think that you look around and what you're looking at is the inside of your mind. Now, I'm not making a case to whether there is or isn't anything out here in what we call the world, objectively existing. I'm not making that case one way or the other. That's not important. That's sort of a philosophical cul-de-sac in terms of awakening. It's not important. But just to entertain the possibility, the idea even, that what we see, taste, touch, feel is our mind's interpretation of almost like incoming data. Now, you can understand that. I mean, you can believe it or not believe it, accept it or not accept it, but we can understand that. And it will still, for the most part, have no basic effect on us. We'll just go, well, that's curious. That's kind of a wild thought. That's, but it won't really fundamentally alter anything. Hence the more mystical part of this understanding. Not really a different understanding, but an understanding that's not purely cerebral, not intellectual. In other words, we experience it rather than simply understanding it. Of course, we're always experiencing it at one level, right? You're opening, like I said, you open your eyes and you're always seeing basically the inside of your mind. So we're experiencing that. But we don't experience it as it is because we think, oh, what I'm seeing out here, everything exists the way I see it out here. If I'm not here, this is the way it will be, whether I'm here to see it or not. That's still to mistake yourself as some little part that's independently existing, that's just sort of interacting with this immensity of life. Of course, that's basically our egocentric presumption, is that is indeed the way it is. We're just a separate entity negotiating this immensity of life. So how do we go from understanding, knowing intellectually, to actually direct experience or direct perception, or basically being the knowing? When our knowing and our being link up as one event, that's the experience of insight. That's why insight always has a bodily component. There's an intellectual component, something that's understood, but there's also this aha, this feeling, this energetic quality. It's and the reason our bodies are involved, because it's an understanding with our whole being, what's called in Zen prajna, right? Heart wisdom. Heart wisdom doesn't necessarily mean your affective, emotional heart. It means wholeness, understanding with the whole of your being, not just your thinking, or not just your feeling divorced, your emotions divorced from your thoughts, but your whole being operating all together, all at once.